Hate Army General saying hate Army shit to Hate Army. If your name is Hate Army, there is no Hate Army, does not exist. Good vibes to the Hate Army. No. I am stoked for today. Allow me to tell you why, because today will likely be the opposite of yesterday for me. And what I mean by that is less stress. Whew. Yesterday, Sunday, was a very stressful day for me. Between the one stream that I did, which was Wolong Fallen Dynasty, which I am going to do a little bit of a follow-up discussion about today on the show, but I don't really want to take a giant chunk of the show to talk about it, because I feel like, you get to the point where you talked about it so much, you don't have too much to add. I do have a couple quick things to add about yesterday's session, which was very disappointing. But outside of that, I just don't want to keep talking about it every day. I'll be playing it again tomorrow, maybe for the last time. We'll see. We'll talk about that. But in addition to that, yesterday I didn't even get to do a second stream. And a lot of the times when I have a stressful first stream, the second stream that I do, usually being what I call the late night chill stream or the late night chill session, that's the session where we get to hang out and have a good time together and get to sit back and just kind of relax. When I'm playing games like Oblivion or right now Like a Dragon Ishin, these are not incredibly stressful playthroughs. In fact, these are way more kind of, wandering around, doing questing, lots of dialogue. We get to talk and interact a lot. I get to answer a lot of your questions, and we have conversation. I really like that because it allows me to have more social interaction with you, as opposed to, say, a daytime stream of Wolong. How am I talking with you guys besides you guys telling me how to play the game? Outside of that, it's like I got to be concentrating every moment I'm playing this thing, because at any second I could get insta-killed, right? So, that's the thing. Like yesterday, I had my first stream of very stressful Wolong. And then it's like, all right, now I get to unwind. Wait, no, I don't, because I didn't do a second stream last night. Last night, for those who don't know, I was doing private stuff, tax stuff. Basically, a lot of scanning, a lot of downloading, printing, signing, initialing, dating, and uploading, and then gathering of data and typing it all into my big, financials, information spreadsheet and everything that I use to track everything every year. When you own your own business, it becomes way more difficult than if you just have a 9-to-5 job, or even just like a part-time job where, oh, I have a pay stub, and that pay stub just has all my information on it automatically, right? When you have your own business, man, you've got to do so much extra work between calculating me. I have income coming in from multiple sources, right? All over the place. You guys directly, YouTube, and then there's direct and indirect, Patreon, stuff like, it's coming from all directions, and you got to make sure you account for all of that. You have to. And then on top of that, all the expenses and everything you have to account for. A lot of expenses went up last year. Things like electricity, gas, all that stuff went up because of inflation. And inflation is a key factor in the cost of operating a business. And so all that stuff I'm figuring out. And next thing I know, I started probably doing that. Usually my late stream, I'll turn it on around 6:45 p.m. And the late stream, I'll end around 9:15, 9:30. And then I upload or whatever. I was in this office around 6:30, so a little earlier. And the first thing I did is I printed out the documents I needed my wife and I to sign. And then I just got right into the data, right? Looking at data, transferring data over to get an idea of, what did I make last year? And, I start doing it. I look at the clock. It's 9:45. I said, what? I felt like I was in here for 30 minutes. And it had been 3 hours of doing this. It's just, it's hilarious because I went to college for finance and or possibly accounting. I tell you right now, it's the last thing I would ever want to do. Now that I've done so many other things with my life, and I'm so far removed from that life, it's the last thing I would ever want to do is just sit around crunching numbers all day. It's the most boring, time-consuming, and I finish doing it for 3.5 hours, and my eyes are all bugged out, because the thing is, when you're staring at a spreadsheet and or statements and things, and you're transferring data over, your eyes, you start looking around, you're like, I can't even see. I've been looking at this for 3 hours. I can't, I'm getting a headache. It's driving me nuts. And I just don't like it, what can I say? It's hilarious that I have a degree in finance, and this is something that I would never ever want to do in my life if I could help it. Anyway, so the good news, I'll give you an update on it, since some people undoubtedly ask, well, how did it go? Well, the good news is the initial work that I needed to get done got done. Now my tax guy can start working on the taxes. It's not all the data that they need to do my taxes, but at least I got the initial groundwork working. They can start the process. And what I'm going to definitely need to do is at some point between now and the end of the month, I'm going to have to take another night stream off. I'm going to have to take another night stream off to finish, because I basically got the first half done and a little bit into the second half of what I needed to do, and then I ran out of time. So, another night, another 2-3 hours of work, I'll likely get all the data together that I need, and then I'll be able to send it off, and it'll be done for the year. And I'm hoping for the best. Every year I'm nervous when I do my taxes, because I'm self-employed. I own my own business, and it's very different from when you have a 9-to-5 job or a part-time job. Again, when you have a 9-to-5 or part-time job, every time you get paid, they're automatically taking the taxes you owe the federal government. If you live in the U.S., anyway, this is how it works. They automatically take those taxes out of your pay, so you're getting what's called the net pay. Now, sometimes you overpay, and at the end of the year, when you file your taxes, they say, hey, guess what? You're getting a refund. Congrats, you get some money back. You're like, wow, that's neat. I get some money back. I love a little bonus here. That's excellent. When you own your own business, you've never paid enough. There's never been a single year that I've operated a business on YouTube where I have actually had like a refund. It's never happened. It's always somehow you underpaid. Okay? Because, by the way, no one's taking taxes out of the money I get. It's my responsibility on a monthly basis, or at the very least on a quarterly basis, to be making estimated payments to the government. They expect me to guess, like, exactly how much I'm going to make, and or based on the performance of what's going on the few months before, kind of guess, and, okay, this is what I should owe, and then send it to them. And the thing is, do you have to do it that way? No, but if you don't, you get hit with so many penalties. You'll get hit with a ridiculous amount of late fees and penalties if you don't pay them anything till the end of the year. Because some people do that. They just don't care. They wait till the end of the year. They send one lump sum payment to the government. Here's what I owe you for taxes. But you get hit with a bunch of fees. So the better way to do it is to gradually do it slowly over the year. But you're just guessing. A lot of the times you don't actually know yet exactly what you owe. And then, like, again, I never get it right. It's always under. So you always have that worry. Did I gross underpay last year by accident and didn't intend to? And now is it going to tell me that I owe a ginormous amount of back taxes that now I have to somehow pay over time? But by the way, money's already tight. So now can you imagine? Now I got to factor in, I got to pay more for a back tax payment, because I already, as you guys know, I've mentioned this before, and I'm not going to go into massive detail. And this is not going to be a giant segment of the show. I do have back taxes that I'm paying, and it's all left over from the days, when I had all those financial problems. I've still got back taxes for years and years that I have to pay off slowly. It's going to take forever. I might be doing it for decades. Seriously. That's how it is, like this slow burn of trying to get it off of your back. If I had the money, I would pay it right now. I don't have it. But, the government wants their money. So it's like, well, I got to slow pay it. So a lot of the times it's funny when people say to me, well, Phil, I don't understand. Where does all your money go? I've got a lot of things like that going on. Basically, money that I have a slow O. A slow O. Wow, is that a new term I just made up? A slow O, where you owe it, but you don't have to pay it immediately. As long as you pay it slowly, it's okay. But it basically drips you dry. So every month I get a payment from YouTube, and immediately it's like, okay, pay the big stuff, like the mortgage, the car. Wait, what about all these slow O's? So it goes to this payment plan, to this payment plan, to this. Oh, I have no money left. And that's what happens every month. And so when I do my taxes, it's like nervous even further. Will it go up? Will they now tell me I have to double what I'm already paying on my the back payment plan? And where's that money coming from? You know what I'm saying? So it's concerning. It's frustrating. And it makes me nervous whenever I have to work on this. It really does. And that's what I mean. Like, it was a stressful day yesterday, because the first half of the day was a stressful game of Wolong Fallen Dynasty. And I'm like, here we go. Now we can relax and we can have a chill stream. Oops, there's no chill stream today. I'm doing my taxes. Oh, shit. And now here comes the stress. You know what I'm saying? Nick says, my Connecticut tax guy did me dirty all those years ago. He did. He absolutely did. That's one of the reasons. And again, not to beat the dead horse of my history, but when I lived in Connecticut, I had a tax guy who was doing my taxes, and he's doing them all correctly. When I moved out here to Washington 9 years ago, okay, this guy, I told him, I guess we're saying goodbye because I'm moving to a new state. All the taxes are likely going to end up having to be calculated differently because I'm in a different state now. And he assured me, oh no, I can continue to keep doing your taxes. Please keep your business with me. We'll do it all correctly, yada, yada. So he did my taxes 2014, 2015, 2016. And then come 2017, I get notified by the state of Washington that he was doing them wrong all along, and I owed them a ton of money. And I'm like, great. And that's really one of the major things that screwed me over, you know. As I told you guys, there's been many different like milestones in life here where I've been a YouTuber where it's like I'm getting to a good point financially and then something screws me. And that was really the tipping point because after that, there was no coming back. Like once that one happened, that I had to pay thousands upon thousands of back thousands of dollars to this state. And then I had to pay a tax attorney to fix that. And that was thousands of dollars of work and everything. Basically, that was it. I was never coming back from any of it. And that's one of the major reasons that led to my bankruptcy. Not all of them. But anyway. So now I'm kind of like, I get nervous around tax time. Because even though I know I did everything I possibly could have done to do my taxes correctly, it doesn't mean that I did. You know, even as much as I try due diligence to make sure everything's right, even if you're paying someone thousands of dollars to do your taxes, they could still do them wrong. And now you're screwed. You're on the hook for it. So that's why I hate this time of year, you know. But the good news is more than the first half is done. Like I said, likely one more night, maybe, you know, second half of this month, I'll take off from streaming to finish the work. And hopefully that's it. And then I could just say, okay, phooey. For the rest of the year, I can chill and relax and breathe easy and everything. You know, because there's been some years, like last year, all right? And this will be the last thing I talk about it. Last year, okay, there was a concern because my old home in Connecticut had been foreclosed upon years ago. And finally last year, they had, actually I take it back, it might have been 2020. No, it was 2021. Okay, it was 2021. The foreclosure finally fully went through, and that home was no longer in my name. But there's this weird thing in tax law that says if you have a property that's foreclosed on, they could consider that profit. How? Exactly. It's not an asset I own. I didn't make any money on a sale. My credit was ruined. And I lost the asset. So how is that profit? But apparently there's some situations where it can be considered profit. And if it was considered profit, exactly how would I account for, you know, I think that property at the time that they foreclosed on it was worth maybe $80,000, $90,000. How are you going to account for the fact they're going to say I made $90,000 that I didn't make and I owe taxes on that, right? Like that's insane. Good news is, no, that didn't happen, you know. It was all accounted for properly and everything. And apparently, no, you know, I wasn't liable for it. Thank God. You know, that's good. That was last year. I was actually nervous a lot of last year behind the scenes of everything going on, saying, man, what's going to happen? I don't know. This could screw me over. Another thing that could just screw me over that no one really talked about or knew. And, you know, but thankfully that has passed. Okay. We're past that. And it's not a big concern anymore. So this is what I mean. This is all stuff. When you're operating your own business and you're having a real adult life with financial situations and repercussions and shit going on, this could be stuff that goes on in the back of the heads of people. And you never know. And it's weird because when I was younger, I would see like people who were like 40 years old and a lot of them would be all stressed out and pissy. I was like, so who pissed in your Wheaties today? Right? Like who ruined your life that now you got to be a jerk to everyone around you? And now I'm 40, right? I'm 40. I'm like, now I kind of get it. Because you never know what's going on behind the scenes of someone's life. You don't know how stressed they are or what could possibly, they're so afraid because something that could ruin their life could be lingering and they have no control over it. You know, when you get to this age, there's so many factors going on. I mean, not only stuff like that, there's health factors and things. You know what I mean? Like, there's a million things going on all at once. And you could just be like, you know, seriously, you're to the point where you never know what's going on in someone's life, right? So at least in this day and age, when I run into someone who looks like they're really upset or they're pissy or they're stressed and they're acting like a jerk, I at least kind of give them the benefit of the doubt for the moment and understand maybe they're acting like a jerk right now, but maybe there's a really good reason for it because they're so emotionally upset about stuff, maybe that's why they're actually acting like that. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe it's because there's so much going on in their life, and now I get it, because now I've been there and I've seen that kind of shit going on behind the scenes in my life, and now that's the thing. Like some days I know for a fact there have been days where I've come to stream and I've been purposely like pissy to people on the stream, and it's not your fault. It's because this shit going on, and that's a shortcoming of mine. That's a human shortcoming. I apologize for that, but it is what it is. If there's a day and you come, you're like, Phil, why do you seem so upset today? That's probably why. There's probably stuff going on behind the scenes I can't really talk about, and it's affecting me in a real negative way. And it sucks because I'm a public guy. I can't just decide, oh, today I'm really upset about stuff behind the streams. I guess I won't go to stream today. No, I can't do that. You know what I mean? Like, I have to be on stream every day and be a public-facing personality to make a living. This is my job, to be here on camera with you guys, So it is tough some days to not have that negativity come through. And I apologize for that, I also want to apologize because I got a couple messages overnight from people saying they're upset with me. And whenever someone's upset with me, I want to seriously consider it for what they're saying at face value. All right. And these are not people. These are not trolls. I want to clarify something. These were not trolls who messaged me. These are actually like fans, people who I care about because they care about me, and they're very upset with me. And so I want to apologize to everyone for the last few days. If you feel like I came across like yesterday or the day before and I was talking about tips and can you help me with tips and stuff like that. People don't like that, and they're pissy. Not pissy, excuse me. That's the wrong word. Not pissy. They're pissed, and they should rightfully be pissed. If there's someone who's a fan of me and a fan of my content, and they're coming to my streams and they're upset because they're like, oh my God, Phil's doing it again. And, and the thing is, there's a difference between saying to you guys, I'm stressed today because finances are going bad. Or there's a difference between that and saying, hey, by the way, send me tips, right? There's a big difference between those two things. And it just sucks because being that my major source of income is crowdfunding from you guys, right? Major. I mean, the only other thing that I really get income from that's not crowdfunding is ad revenue. And ad revenue is all over the place and you can't control it. Half the time my videos get demonetized. I mean, I couldn't tell you. Probably 2 videos a week on DSP Reacts is monetized. Everything else is demonetized, right? So you can't really control that. And so when I'm in a situation where things are bad or tight, it's like kind of going to a friend or a family member and saying, hey, things are tight. If you were already going to help because you probably were going to, could you help in this particular way? People don't like that. They're very upset with me. And, I'm happy that people told me. I'm happy that rather than people saying, we are just going to give you the, say everything's fine. I don't want a room of yes men and women with me. You understand? I don't want that. If people have issues with me and things that I say, I absolutely want to know about it. And I'm happy, very happy, that people came to me and said, even the way you said it, yes, it's not like you're sitting here and you're begging and demanding anything, but it's still wrong. Okay? So the thing is, I don't even know what to do. When you're in a situation where you need the help, right? But just simply bringing it up or asking, not even asking, suggesting, because I didn't even ask for anything. I suggested something. Even that is offensive to people or upsetting to people, right? Like, I don't know how to go about it. I just don't. If you don't mention it, then you might not get what you need, which has happened. It's like maybe if I don't mention it at all, right? As I've told you guys, what I look at when I look at the business is there a pattern being established? Okay, if I'm streaming and I've got a slow day when it comes to any kind of support, all right, it's not something that's a big deal. And it's hilarious because my detractors always make it out to be a big deal. Any day that they're literally, I'm not even kidding you, they literally sit here and calculate how much I make in a day. And they post it all over their videos on the internet. Even I don't do that. I don't on a daily basis. I'm not just sitting here with a spreadsheet going like this. They think like, you ever see those old cartoony accountants? They have the visor, the glasses, and like one of those old calculators with the receipt shoots out of it. So there's like every day, they're watching my stream. Oh, a $2 super chat came in. Oh, a tip came in. They're calculating, and they have these big running tallies, of what's being made on a stream, right? Which is all wrong, because of course there's a million factors. There's chargebacks you don't know about. There's the fees associated with each and every transaction. What you see come in is not what a streamer gets. It's bullshit, okay? But this is how they are. They're just nuts in that regard. But I don't even do that. What I see is if there's a pattern of days, if there's like several days where I'm noticing, wow, that actually was a series of days where things were quite slow, on any kind of support. And how do I really gauge it? How do I notice it? Well, as you know, we have goals in effect on streams, right? So for example, today, if we raise $50 on this very stream, I put on my Gunner glasses, okay? And then if we raise $100 on the stream, I put on a hat. You guys pick a silly hat for me to wear or whatever, right? So that's what I mean. Like, that's how I gauge it, is like if I notice, I've been putting on the glasses a lot, then probably things are going good. If I notice, man, I haven't worn a hat in a long time, it probably means there's been a string of pretty slow days, right? And that's really how I do it. And in particular, I don't look at stuff until I absolutely have to. And then I look at it and I'm like, oh crap, well, here's what's coming up. I got bills coming up. I got this coming up. And wow, because I've had a string of slow days that have happened within like a 2-week period, I'm in a situation where, wow, things are real bad right now, and I don't even know how I'm going to do what I need to do in the next week, And it's like, well, now what do you do? Say nothing. If I say absolutely nothing, then no one knows, right? And there may be someone, let's say, for example, and this is my rationale, and I hope you understand my rationale where I'm coming from. I want to flesh this out because I feel like, again, in the honesty and transparency, the kind of person that I am, right? This is what I want to talk about. And if you find this offensive, I'm sorry. But at least I want to tell you where I'm coming from. But I am going to tell you I apologize, and there's going to be a resolution, all right? But anyway, if I say nothing, let's say, for example, there was someone who, they've been waiting to actually come and support the stream today. Maybe there's something there. Maybe they really like Hogwarts Legacy. And they were going to come to the stream, and they were going to say, hey, I want to support your stream today. Well, I've noticed that Phil has this new daily members goal. It's not a monthly goal anymore. You know what? I want to have him hit that members goal for today. Right? So I'm going to drop 3 members. But I didn't say anything, so that's what they do. Great. That supports the channel. But in reality, what I really need help with for that particular day is tips, because I got bills coming up that week, and I need the tips to pay them. Right? So I'm appreciative of the support. It's amazing. But that person, maybe if I had said something publicly that they say, hey, just so you guys know, today would really help if you could tip me, because that's what I need right now. The members are great, but I don't get anything from them for like a month to a month and a half, while the tips I get now, and I really need the help now, right? I feel like we have that relationship, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we don't, right? I feel like we do, because these streams are small. Look at how many viewers I got, 300 some viewers. I'm talking with an audience of probably 20, 30 people in the chat right now who are directly talking with me. And I feel like we're having a conversation. I don't feel like this is me transactionally talking to a bunch of people who throw money at me. I don't feel that at all. I feel like we actually have a friendly relationship where we can talk transparently and people won't be offended. But apparently that's not the case, because I actually have a couple longtime supporters who actually said, we hate it when you talk like that. It actually offends us. It pisses us off. It makes us feel the wrong way. And I apologize for that, because when I talk transparently, I'm not thinking that way. I'm thinking, talking to a friend, talking to someone who I trust, who cares about me, and who would want to know, hey, if I was going to support you today, what's the best way? I get the feeling a lot of the times when I have something like this on the screen, maybe this is giving the wrong impression. Maybe on a day like today, where I'm like, I know for a fact that I need some help with tips, I should just not have that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's the case. Maybe what I need to do is try to like cater the streams towards particularly what's best for the business that day, right? And maybe that's what I need to do, rather than saying it. You know what I'm saying? I guess we gotta just figure this out, together. And I think it is a growing process, it's an evolving process. But the thing is, I am upset. I'm upset that people are upset. I don't like people being upset, especially people who I care about, and people who I trust, and people who have been very good to me. I don't like those people being upset with me at all. Okay? So I don't really know what to do because I don't want to upset people. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say things in a way that is going to turn people off and say, man, this guy's all about just raising money on every stream. Because I'm definitely not. There, you know, how many days are we're playing games like Like a Dragon Ishin. We're playing games like Oblivion. Those streams are late night chill streams. They're not usually insanely profitable. I do those because they're fun to do with you guys. If I wanted to play every game was insanely profitable, here's what I'd be playing. Every memeable game on the internet, every new hot memeable game, I'd be playing every single one at launch. Just like every other streamer that does it. I'd be doing that, right? I'd be jumping on the bandwagon of every popular game, and I would try to beat that game within like 3 days. Get the new game done, and it's now all rush for those day one views. Rush to have the playthrough done so you can move on to the next project. You know what I mean? Like, there's all these things I do that have nothing to do with profit at all. It's actually unprofitable decisions, for sure. But that's because I'm trying to put out content for you that I feel is more meaningful, is more enjoyable, that we can have social experiences on these streams that are personable, and we can have fun conversations. You know what I'm saying? It's very different than what a lot of other people do. But because of that, I do absolutely rely on the crowdfunding. You guys know this. It's not like this is a new thing. You guys know all about this. The reason that I'm able to do what I love for a living in the style that I do it is because of you. Because you guys support this effort. You know how important it is to me to put out content that is meaningful to me and you. And I'm not putting out that shilled stuff. I'm not going to pump every viral game. I'm not going to play games just because I'm getting paid to play them. I'm not going to take those opportunities to just every indie game. I mean, my God, I still to this day I get offers almost daily about indie games. Play this indie game. We'll pay you for it. No. I mean, I'm going to play games that I like and my audience wants to see. I'm not going to be playing games just for a paycheck. I don't want this to feel like that ever. You know. But then when it comes time, oh my God, things just didn't go well for a few weeks. I feel like, you know, I should be able to talk about that publicly, but my viewers don't feel the same, at least from what I'm being told, you know, the feedback I'm getting. So I apologize for that. I guess what I'm getting at here is I don't know how to let you know when I really need some help without being offensive. And if the answer is then just don't ever, that's fine, but understand that things might get, you know, pretty bad at some points. Because there's been times in my history as a content creator, since I became a full-time streamer, since the whole full-time ad revenue on YouTube stopped working. All right? That did. I mean, 2017, the adpocalypse happened. You can't just rely on YouTube ad revenue anymore. It doesn't work. Okay? There's been times when if I didn't tell you guys, hey, I need support in this way. Please support me in this way. And if I didn't get that support because I asked, I wouldn't have been able to pay bills. I wouldn't have been able to buy games. I wouldn't have been able to do these things, you know? It's funny because, for example, one of those people who criticized me months ago, one of the things that I had said, I think in that particular video was, well, it looks like I can't play the new game on Friday because I can't afford it. Oh my God, you see that? He's guilt tripping his audience. Actually, I was just speaking a fact. Like, I actually couldn't afford it. I had bankruptcy years ago. I don't have any credit. So it's not like, oh, I could just slap that on my streamer credit card and put it all down on the unlimited platinum plan, and I can just buy every game under the sun. I can't do that. You know, I'm limited with budgets and things that I have. So for me, when I say that to you, I feel like I'm being transparent and hopefully it's explaining things so you can understand, man, I know we all want me to play this game on Friday, but it looks like I can't do it because this is how things have been going recently. But from an outsider, someone who isn't in the situation I'm in, is likely making a lot more money than me and is in a lot better position than me. They're looking at that and saying, oh, that's, you know, what a horrible e-beggar. And he's demanding that his fans pay for all of his supplies and shit like that. It's like, it's just crazy that people just assume everything. They think they know everything. Because again, what it is they have this big, ridiculous orchestra of bullshit around them that they believe. They believe there is some absolutely like secret, you know, gambling shit going on that's not going on. They believe they're nonsense, and they just formulate this nonsense. And since that's the reason. So everyone else, you know, matter of factly, I don't have the money to buy a new game because things are tight right now because of everything going on in my life, and you know, and then we have a few slower weeks, right? To them, it's like, oh, it's because Phil blew all his money on mobile games and was irresponsible with money over here, and he gets someone just said it to me yesterday. Why do you get $200 of DoorDash a week? What on earth are you talking about? I have never once in my life spent $200 on DoorDash in 1 week. Like, what are you speaking of? I get one meal a week possibly delivered on my day off. But this is what I mean. They formulated these crazy conspiracy clouds of bullshit, and they believe it. So in their minds, when I say I can't afford the game on Friday, they say, yeah, well, that's because you blew all your money on a mobile game and you bought $200 worth of DoorDash food and you spent this money irresponsibly. But none of that's true. When the narrative becomes believe the bullshit, right? Then I can't ever win anyway. No matter what I do, I'll always be I'm always look like a villain. And that's what sucks, So anyway, I apologize to you for the last 1 or 2 days where I said things like, hey, please send me tips. I need help with tips right now. I apologize for that. All right. All I can say is I can try to not do it. And that's all I can say, try. Because I can't promise I won't do it. I'm a weak human, and when times are rough or tough or tight, likely I'm going to end up, kind of bulking a bit. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't even know the word. But basically, I can't guarantee you it's not going to happen, especially if there's something that really is bad going on. And, I need the help right now. And I know people are going to help me. It's just that, hey, the different ways, right, that people can help. And if you can help in this way, that's better, right? I agree with Bloomkit. I completely agree with Bloomkit. He did a super chat. He says, I'm a fan. I don't mind, but you got to understand people watch streamers to relax, and hearing about financial problems constantly will turn people off. You're right. You're absolutely right. That's why, and by the way, it's better. It's better now. My God, I was bad. Like, I look back now a few years ago, around the time of the bankruptcy, particularly that year and the year right before, that was my worst years because I was like doing special event. I need help. I need to raise $1,000. What? That's terrible. And I know that's terrible. I look at it now. I'm like, dude, that's fucking terrible. But the reason I can see that now is because I'm not in that situation. When you're in that situation and there's no other way out, and you know that your viewers are very much the people who are your income, and that's it. It's either do this event and hopefully raise it, or you can't pay stuff. It's like do or die. And again, I look at it now and I say, that's terrible. In the moment, I couldn't see that because it was my only option, right? Now, thank God, right? That's not this. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the situation. Like, it's not, oh my God, I need to raise $1,000. That's ridiculous. Thank God, right? I'm way more responsible now with what I've got. I divvy it out properly as much as I can. But even then, there's times that things are slower, and there's nothing that you can really do about that. All right. One thing that I can 1,000,000% tell you guys, which I've kind of talked about it over the last year to year and a half. When I lost my Twitch partnership, that hurt me a lot. And now I have the actual numbers to prove it. Like, that additional Twitch income that I was getting. Remember, on Twitch, I had every month, just think about this. On Twitch, I had 800 and 900 subs. Doing the same content, the same schedule. Everything was the same. It's not like I changed. That's why I lost members here on YouTube, moving from Twitch to YouTube. I went from 800 and 900 paid subs a month down to now around, 300 and change. You're talking losing 500, 600 a month. And those weren't all even level 1. Those were level 2, level 3 memberships, or subs over there too. And yeah, over there, the cheering, like with the bits and stuff, was very prominent. Like, it was all the time just a common thing. Someone would come and drop a big bomb of cheers and stuff. And it's not as prominent on YouTube. It's just not. And why? Because YouTube, admittedly, is not as good of a streaming service. They don't offer as good benefits as Twitch does, correct? They don't. There's no YouTube Prime memberships where you get a free membership if you're YouTube's premium subscriber. That you can't use emotes carrying over from channel to channel. We know this, right? And that just telling you, it's been rough. Okay? It has been rough because I'm looking now at my financials. I just did my taxes last night, and it's like, dude, my income from 2021 to 2022, my income went down a lot. All right? That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say how much. I'm not, because that's exactly what these idiots want. They want to know. It went, and that's the hilarious part, is because these idiots sit around and they pretend to, I'm calculating everything Phil makes. Well, if you're calculating everything I made, how didn't you know my income went down? They're claiming my income goes up every year. I'm like filthy rich. They're out of their minds. My income went way down in a year. And it's like, that was directly a result of losing that Twitch partnership and having to be exclusively a YouTube creator. I didn't change the content. I didn't even lose viewership. If you take a look overall, my viewers have pretty much been retained. I'm getting subs now, like more subs growth and everything. You know what I mean? It's just YouTube streaming is not as profitable. It's just not. You know, it's not as good as Twitch. And there's nothing you can do about that. Sadly, YouTube, in my opinion, has become the better place to stream. It really is. Better video quality. I can actually control the chat better. There's just a better mentality of how this business is run versus Twitch, and their ridiculous management decisions and bullshit, and the way that they police their community is a joke. Completely unprofessional over there. It's a better place to operate a business. At the same time, it just doesn't have the features that Twitch has, and it's like, why not? Seriously, why not? But anyway, yeah, things are rougher, and you know, the way I see it is I need to tough it out a little longer. Things will get better soon. You know, how soon, I don't know, but things will get better soon. I got to tough it out. And I've talked about this. I'm tired now. I want to change the subject. So all I want to say is I'm sorry. All right? I'm not going to bring it up as much as I can. I'm not going to say a word from this moment on. I'm not going to say a word about, hey, tip me because that's how you can help me out more. I'm just not going to say nothing. And I guess if it hurts, it hurts. And if I can't pay stuff, I can't pay stuff. And I'm not going to bring it up. All right? At least to my best of my ability. Understand what I will say. Here's what I will say. If there's a day, I'm going to tell you guys, listen, I'm just really stressed out today. So please understand it's something that we've agreed we're not talking about. So I'm just really stressed out today. I'm sorry about it because it might come through. You know, yesterday, abso-freaking-100%, 1,000,000% absolutely on that Wolong stream. Yes, the game was pissing me off, and I do have a lot of criticisms of it. But at the same time, that's compounded with things going on behind the scenes, financial and otherwise. There's other stuff going on too that you guys don't know about, and it all adds up, and it really stresses me out, and then it comes through into content, you know. And I apologize for that. All right, so that's that. I'm not bringing it up. I'm done. I said my piece. All right. And I got it on my chest, and I apologize to everyone who I offended. I'm sorry I even brought it up now. I really am, because I feel like I was doing better. And now things aren't as good as they were those few months that I was doing better. And now I'm kind of, you know, I don't want to revert back to old Phil constantly bringing shit up like that. You know, at the very least, I'm not doing, hey, emergency stream, we need to raise $1,000 today. That's insane. Like, what a stupid thing. You know, that's the desperation does, right? It's exactly what desperation does. It changes you. It turns you into something you don't like and you don't respect. I want to be able to wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and say, hey, I'm good with what I'm about to do today. I'm going to go on a stream. I'm going to have a great time with my audience. We're going to have great interactive fun, right? We're going to enjoy games for what they are. I'm going to be honest with my audience and transparent. And I'm not going to sit there and fucking beg like a pathetic person. You know, give me stuff today. You know, I hate that. And I hate looking at myself and saying, man, I did that yesterday. And I'm sorry if I came across that way, because that's not what I was trying to do. I was trying to be honest and transparent. People were like, nah, even then, even the way you did it, it's not acceptable. I'm like, all right, fair enough. You called me out. I'm thankful people did. I'll tell you this, I want people to call me out. Call me the fuck out. When I am weak, when I do something bad or stupid or questionable, I want to know. And I appreciate that transparency that you have with me. That's what I really cherish, is that I know that I can only become better if you tell me what I'm doing wrong. Thank you for that. Because, my God, if you've watched me in the last year with some of the reacts I've done, let's be honest, that John Rambo and Howard react, if I had known about half the shit that they had problems with me, you know, I probably could have done something about it. And they didn't want to be transparent with me. They kind of held it all in. And now, those are friendships that are irrevocably broken and will never come back. Because no one was being transparent, right? I was being shitty to them, and they weren't being transparent with me about me being shitty to them. So there was nothing I could really do to fix that. If you guys call me out on this stuff, then I can improve. Okay? So thank you for that. To the people who did that. I really, really appreciate that. And I'm going to do my best to improve. All right? Now that we've got a half an hour segment about it. All right.